Do switching themes on the go. Apparently I will be talking about themes. So my name is Alexandros Stylianidis, and because it's kind of hard to pronounce, you can find me online as Alex Still. I'm a software craftsman in Novoda. I am based in London, and I've been messing around with Android for a couple of years now, both as a user apparently, and then as a developer. I have noticed that there is something missing from a lot of applications, and as you can tell from the topic of this talk, is apparently themes. There are not many applications that allow me to customize the way my my favorite apps looks, and I think it's really sane. But to begin with, why even bother as a developer? Why should I bother introducing theming to my product? It is not something that's going to go to, it is not something special for my app, it's not going to give any value specifically for my applications, and any app can actually do that, so what's the catch? Why should I even bother the development time for this? Well, to begin this, we are developing applications for Android. The core feature of the platform is to customize and personalize your device. There are millions of devices out there. Users can pick up the device they would like. And they can change so many different things. They can change wallpapers, ringtones, and basically how the app how their phone looks in a system level, not specifically in apps. Another thing is that some people are already doing it because there are some users that are really dedicated and they really want to personalize their device. But the problem is, because there's no any supported way of doing it, they're doing it the hardest way possible, basically. With some means, for example, rooting their device and voiding their warranty for using any sort of framework, such as Xposed framework. They can actually customize any app they like, but the effort to do something like that is huge, just to be able to customize, to change the colors of your favorite app. And lately, there has been a craving, let's say, for dark themes. If you go to some famous online Android blogs, for example, Android Police, you're going to see that in every single Google app that they release, they get an update, you're going to see that all the comments are basically, okay, cool, but where's the dark theme? Lately, the Android N preview, the latest version of the Android N preview actually removed the ability to customize, to disable dark theme from the app, and you're going to see so many complaints about that. Of course, it is a beta feature, but you can see from these kind of complaints how much people want to be able to change the colors of their favorite apps. Now, at this point you might argue, okay, cool, let's do it. I mean, let's customize it. It sounds nice, but we're dealing with my brand here. I have specific colors for my brand that's how we designed the brand to be. If you change the colors, isn't my brand going to be, the quality of my brand going to be changed? And the answer is no. Colors are not your brand. You can change the design of it. You can have a really good design and user experience through your app that the user is going to combine your company, the quality of your company, through this design. It doesn't necessarily have to do with colors. And don't forget that if you actually care about your brand, your logos, your assets and everything should be able to see it both on dark backgrounds and light backgrounds. And your icon must be able to see it on top of every single background, no matter what the user selects. What are you going to say then? Hey, don't choose that wallpaper because my icon doesn't work in that. And also, never ever forget accessibility. You have people, visually impaired people, that in some certain situations, unless the colors, the branding and everything of your app is done right, you're just going to miss those kind of users. You wouldn't want to do that, right? Now, before I actually start telling you how to do this in Android, I would like to discuss about you what actually means to have themes, what is themes, in a way that we can actually communicate this, you can actually understand what I'm saying. Themes have, in material guidelines, have 5 different attributes, or basically 5 different colors. The first one is the primary dark color, which is the color of the status bar. It's a bit darker, I'm not sure if you can see it here. The second color is the primary color. This is basically a background color. As you can see here is the color of the status bar or action bar on top, and usually it's something that the user cannot really interact with. Well, no matter if you tap on it or do swipe or anything, you're not going to be able to get any feedback out of that. And that's actually really important. Accent color are the color through your app that the user can actually interact with. For example, here you have the FAB, the floating action button. I keep forgetting the name. Because the color is this specific, if it's the color of the accent, the user automatically have this impression in the back of their heads that this specific color is something that you can interact with. So bear in mind that it's a good practice to keep these colors throughout your app so that the user knows what's interactive and what's not. And last but not least, you have the text color primary and the inverse color of that. If your theme is a light theme, obviously the text color primary should be dark and vice versa. Now, while you create your themes, you want to be able to design them in a way that it is actually future-proof. You want, if you give the user the option to customize the themes and switch them out to give the option to select whatever theme they would like, to be able that every single theme matches the app perfectly. So, if you design your app through your entire process without touching any code, through your design process, if you discuss with your designers, with your developers, in those specific attributes, in those specific colors, it is way easier for everyone in the team, even the user, to know what we're talking about. For example, in this specific example on the right, you can see that the accent is a little green button, and the user instantly knows that they can tap on that, because other parts of the application also are green, and they know how they can interact with it. Also, don't worry if you create one theme that has those three specific colors, but in other themes you actually need to create more colors because those three really don't match in some specific situations. You are feel free to create fallbacks for those specific colors, or you can see that in the material guidelines. Also, considering accessibility every single time, there is this specific option, simulate color space in developer options, where you can see how your app and basically the whole display looks in different conditions of the visually impaired. Now, the thing is, how we actually do this? Cool, we know how to design our themes and how to future-proof them, but how do we actually get into the code? Now, unfortunately, there's a big limitation in Android for that. The themes that you specify in Android are XML, and XMLs are read-only. The framework provides you with no way of actually creating custom themes on the go, so with the tools that you have, you cannot create a new theme from the users, if the user provides you with a specific color kit. We need to do something a bit smarter than that, or a bit more silly, depending how you see it. Instead of creating new themes on runtime, we're going to create a bunch of them ahead of time, and we are going to provide the user with the specific themes that they can customize, they can select through runtime. Now, this is how a theme looks. You have the name of the theme, for example, theme default blue, and this is actually the default theme that comes with if you create a new activity through the AppCompat library. You have the exact same attributes that we discussed before. You have color accent, color primary, color dark, and you need to specify the colors of each one of them separately. And this long name that you see over there, the parent, is basically your parent class of which theme you're going to extend. So basically, you're taking that theme, the theme AppCompat light dark action bar, and you're overriding the colors, the primary dark, and so on. Now, depending on your themes, as we said before, you can create your own fallback colors, and the way you can do that is by creating custom attributes. So on the top I have created